And I could do one of two things. I can hire someone who is a top talent, usually independent contractor, usually has their own agency. I can hire them to do it for me, or I can use my own expertise and hire someone and train them to do it exactly the way that I want or need it done. Those are the two options for growth.
Hey, this is Nick Armstrong, and you are watching the Founded in FoCo podcast. Every episode, we get to talk with a mover and shaker in our community doing fun and interesting things. And today, we've got Rina. Rina, tell us about your business.
Hey, everybody. My business is search engine optimization. I am your Google Maps guru, which means when you look for handyman near me or HVAC person near me, it's usually me and my team doing that magic for our clients to get them to show up in the Google Maps.
So how are you feeling about ChatGPT in the world of search engine optimization right now? Because that sets and also tell us the name of your business. It's not just you out there doing these things, right?
No, my business is called Tipping Point Digital. I have an agency. There are 7 of us, all diligently working behind the scenes, studying data, keywords, and looking at all the algorithms and how we can persuade them to support our clients and to learn what is and is not working. It's a lot of fun. It's like I'm a total data junkie. It's addictive. With ChatGPT, I believe ChatGPT is going to allow for plenty of opportunities for me to get more business.
as other folks screw up their SEO through
their entities,
AI tools. Got it.
Yeah. It's one of those interesting conversations that come up probably every single networking spot that I've been to, or event that I've been to, or phone conversation, or new client conversation for the last month. People have been asking me about ChatGPT and if they could just throw the SEO material up there, and I say, yeah, that's great. You can, absolutely, as long as you're willing to tailor it with your voice and your opinion and structure it appropriately. And then when you set it up on your site, you have to do the alt tags and the SEO for that as well, and ensure that there's no page cannibalization and just a bunch of other little things that people are so unaware of. And one guy was like, well, what if I just put up a bunch of articles from ChatGPT? And I was like, well, then we're not going to work together, because I'm not going to go around cleaning up your mess unless you're willing to pay me a lot of money to do it, because it's just it's really easy to mess up an entity or a brand, because we're feeding Google information so that Google can understand what your entity is all about. Okay. What do you think of when I say the word diamond? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, Zales, but that's probably not what's supposed to come to my mind when it comes to I'm supposed to have a friend in the diamond business, right? The Shane Company is what's supposed to come to mind. Here in Colorado.
So you think of diamonds, diamond ring, wedding, jewelry, like bling bling, right? You type in the word diamond in Google and it could come up with baseball, field, pitcher, catcher, right? Or it could come up with spades, clubs, hearts, diamond. It's our job to feed Google the right information so that they know we're talking about carat, cut, clarity, color, or the diamond in a field. And with SEOers, with ChatGPT, this is a great opportunity for people to be able to support their entity and support their brand by creating content that feeds the appropriate information to Google. So there's a lot of strategy behind it. And it's a lot of fun. It's for me, it's fascinating because I can see what's happening, and I spent thousands of dollars in software, and I could see what's happening behind the scenes, and it can analyze what's happening and then tweak a little bit. So yeah, ChatGPT is good, and it's also written by AI. So Google had a content update just like 2 months ago, and I can see literally sites that are just crashing like this right after the helpful content update happened and the backlink spam update happened and everything else. So it's like I said, I'm going to have a lot more business very soon as a result of it.
They don't exactly tell us all the time when they do these updates. So it's all of a sudden you see it in your Google Trends and you're thinking, we better get my SEO person on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's less calls, less form fill-ins, less visitors, and they're wondering why their competitors are doing so well all of a sudden.
How did you get started in SEO?
Out here in Colorado, a lot of people know me already through my children's entertainment business, like you and me, for Collins Comic-Con,
Right.
bringing it, man. That was so much fun. And that was RJ's Amazing Entertainment. So we built that business up here locally. I had to create that whole entire business from nothing. I didn't know anyone when I moved here. I built all the systems, the operations, had to get the sales, the marketing, the financing, the website up. Through the Larimer County Small Business Development Center, I took a couple of SEO classes and then did some webinars, seminars, and learned any and everything I could because I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I was like, well, I don't understand what this SEO thing is. What is it? But I knew when I looked at all of the competitor sites out here that nobody else knew how to do it either. So I was like, man, I'm going to punch a hole right through this market. And within 3 years' time, I did. I broke 6 figures working 1 or 2 days a week as a face painter, and ended up building a team out to 32 entertainers here in Northern Colorado, became the top entertainment company in Northern Colorado. We won awards. We were given awards from the Fort Collins Chamber, and built and sold that business with a successful exit strategy. And then the company that I sold it to contacted me 3 months ago and asked me to take it national. So SEO, right? I learned because I had to learn and wanted to learn and had a passion to learn. And the last 3 years, I've joined a bunch of groups of some pretty high functioning, incredibly intelligent people, Nick. These guys and ladies are like, I feel like I know I'm the least educated person in the room. Like I can do some magical stuff online, and these guys are just light years ahead of me. So they mentor me, they teach me, they show me. And it's a non-disclosure agreement group, and we all have a lot of fun supporting each other. And it's a great community that I belong to. And I just keep learning. I mean, I know that's like a very big roundabout answer to how I got into SEO, but that's how my SEO career has been. So yeah.
Well, it's cool to hear the trajectory of I knew nothing at the beginning. I took a couple classes at the SBDC, and then I started my own company. And after doing years and years of it for myself and learning the ropes for your own business. So that's it's a cool progression. And that idea of not being the smartest person in the room is deeply resonant with me. I think that when that happens, you're in for a great learning opportunity, right? And so, you've spoken before at Founded in FoCo. You most recently are speaking on VAs and bringing in help into your business. So,
Oh yeah.
That's not your normal wheelhouse of SEO. So tell me about how do those two worlds merge? How do you put VAs into practice, and why do you speak about VAs and not SEO?
Well, I can speak on both, yet my experience has been that a lot of businesses are in the like solo entrepreneurs wanting to scale and grow, wanting to take that next step in their business, and they don't know how. So like 4 or 5 years ago, my sister and I created a video that went viral. And when I'm talking about viral, it's like 13 million views the first day, 20 million views the second day. And then by the end of Thanksgiving dinner, day number 3, by the time we finished, eating dinner. It was at 60 million views. So we used outsourced VAs, and I still use a lot of outsourced VAs. They're like my family. They're amazing people, very, very awesome culture, very giving, very caring, very supportive. I got to hire, like for the next 60 days, I was hiring virtual assistants to redirect, to support with social, to support with YouTube, to support with like massive amounts. I mean, millions of people were just flooding in with requests, placing orders, and asking for more information about the product. So we created a bunch of standard operating procedures for virtual assistants. And once I realized like how important and how powerful it is to have someone who can support with the menial, mundane tasks that just are super time consuming, so I could focus on the tasks that only I could accomplish, like everything became easy and everything became like boom, 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 just in sync and flowing. And there's a strong need for people in our community to hire virtual assistants and to be empowered in using this workforce. So I teach about that.
And it seems like that's a really hard thing for an entrepreneur, solopreneur to do, is that, that ego gets involved, right? Like, oh, if it's not done by me, it won't be done well. And so I'd better hand this off. If I hand it off, I know it's going to go badly. I'm going to waste my time and waste my money. It sounds like you found a way around that, not only the ego problem, but around the process problem of being able to describe what you want, how it should be done, and what the results should look like.
It sounds like you've got experience with delegating and being humble enough to understand that you aren't the only one who can do it too, Nick. I hear you. We get to delegate. We get to understand that that's true. No one will ever do it exactly the way that I want it to be done. Yet I can understand and accept that maybe my ideas aren't always the absolute best. And I could do one of two things. I can hire someone who is a top talent, usually independent contractor, usually has their own agency. I can hire them to do it for me. Or I can use my own expertise and hire someone and train them to do it exactly the way that I want or need it done. Those are the two options for growth. You get to choose, or you can sit there and suffer and do it all on your own by yourself and have no time for your family life or whatever else it is you want to do.
Well, and I imagine in the world of SEO, just like in the world of web development or pretty much anything that isn't a hands-on, you are drawing it, you are doing the implementation, everything else like that, that there are steps that you could hand off to a third player, somebody who knows the moves and can put the right things into play, but don't necessarily have to be done by the business owner themselves. Is that accurate?
Well, totally. I drive the ship. Terry has been with me for 4 years. He is my main support. He is a virtual assistant. We've met in person once throughout our entire careers together. And he really is like, he's the heart of our business. He's the glue for everyone else who works there. We communicate with each other. He knows exactly what needs to be done. He's like a mini me. He asks questions of the other team members. Some of our team members are very specific, like schema. I have training for schema. I have advanced training for schema on how to do custom schema. And I can hire a VA and give them my training and then show them a few of our other tricks and techniques that we do to expand upon entities. And the VA can do that, like rinse and repeat, like clockwork, right? It's really hard to replace Terry though, because he's involved in like everything that I do. He knows my schedule. He knows everything. And when I go on vacation or I'm out of town, like he goes through my emails. He'll set my out of town reminder because I forgot to do it. He'll make sure the team meetings are being run without me. Everyone needs a Terry.
And that's a common theme. I've heard this from other entrepreneurs who are successful. I mean, like 6-figure plus businesses, that have a VA assistant. They have one primary VA that is like the bread and butter and the heart and soul of their entire business. That, you know, is their executive officer, their second in command, as it were. And then they have folks who are, you know, trusted assets throughout the ranks, but there's always that one who's knows the ins and outs of the business and is connected in. Do you feel that are you building an in-house competitor? Like, let's say Terry decides to go off and start his own business or whatever, or is it more that you've developed this talent in-house and now you've expanded your capacity to grow as an entrepreneur?
So yes, and it's a yes, and there's always the risk of losing someone that's working with me. And if that individual wants to thrive and wants to grow and wants to open their own agency, I'm fully supportive. There's more than enough work. There's so many opportunities. And although I'm certain Terry wouldn't do that because Terry doesn't want to do the marketing, the sales, the systems, the graphics, and everything else in between, there's always that possibility. And my experience has been, especially with my first business, that the face painters or princesses or balloon twisters that we train and have within the company, a lot of them did have their own independent businesses, yet we'd have a mutual agreement for them not to poach my clients. Just like, be an ethical person and don't poach my clients. And then we can like support each other. And when I have other events, or if you get a team, I'll use your team. And it's really supportive for us in the community to work together and to carve out our own niche. The Terry, oh yeah, I'd be heartbroken if Terry ever left. I would support him if he did. I'd be sad and I'd support him.
And see, that's a really interesting dynamic, right? So and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that if you are developing that community of mutual support in your company, that as long as everybody's behaving with honest intent and behaving ethically, that everybody wins. And so you can curate an in-house entrepreneur and not really worry too much if they go off and do their own thing, because you know that the processes that they've learned from you, and that if they've brought that ethical mindset forward with you, they're not going to take that into the world and then poach your clients. So that's a cool take on it. And I'm curious, do your clients or your associates, your business network, who find out like about your VA type work and that your processes are built out so well, then lean into your SEO business and say, oh, you must really know what you're talking about because you were able to train this entire workforce of people to do this so well and to get these results? Does one help feed the other or vice versa?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's always word of mouth. There's always organic SEO. There's everything in between. I feel personally that I'm going to receive what I put out. So as long as I'm putting out maximum value for my employees and our clients and creating win-win-wins, then it comes back tenfold. I say no to people who want to work with us many times because they're not a good fit. And I'll send them to a friend instead, and I'll just say, look, Alec is really good with e-commerce SEO. I'm more local business, small business, like local search area. Let me set you up with Alec because he's going to crush it for you better than I would be able to. And then Alec gets leads that are HVAC or chiropractors or attorneys and says, hey, you got to talk to RJ. So it just like balances itself out in that respect.
Definitely an interesting pathway. So this is something you're going to be talking about at Founded in FoCo this year. And I'll ask you in two different pathways. So what's one thing that a small business or an entrepreneur should be doing for their SEO, like right now? And what's something that if you are in that mindset of, maybe you're ready to get your ego out of the way or ready to like hand off a task or two. What's a good first step into the world of VA?
Okay, so VA thing first, I will show you guys and talk to you guys exactly what's up with that. I think I'm on Thursday, March 2nd. Is that March 2nd? At 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to go through the step-by-steps, talk about the platforms to use. The first thing you should get set up right now, though, is your systems and write down exactly what it is that you want or need support with and the steps to get that accomplished. And with your search engine optimization, easy step to do. You can make sure that you're posting authoritative, relevant content on your social media profiles, your Google business profile, and content on your website. Please not ChatGPT content, please. Not.
Write it yourself. Slackers.
Yes. Yes. And that's it. Just the consistency of posting once a week, whether it's an article once a week and or on your Google business profile every 7 days. You'll start seeing results within 2-3 weeks tops. It's pretty fast.
That's fantastic. Well, Rina, where can we find out more about you and your business?
Well, you could Google Tipping Point Digital in Loveland and my company shows up. My contact info is on there. If you want, you could call me 714-815-7770. But just, go to my website, shoot me a message, and whatever it is you're curious about. I'm also an instructor now at the Larimer County Small Business Development Center, full circle. So you can find me there and I teach.
It's a great way to get started in the community, and it's also a great way to give back to the community. So Rina, thank you so much for being a speaker at Founded in FoCo this year and last year. And we can't wait to see you again this year.
You're awesome, Nick. It's so good to spend some time with you. And thanks for inviting me onto your podcast and inviting me to be a speaker. I really enjoy giving back to the community.
Absolutely. Well, for more great insights from your fellow entrepreneurs, visit foundedinfoco.com or come see us live March 1st through 3rd at Front Range Community College. We can't wait to see you there. See you next time. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Nick Armstrong, and this is a Founded in FoCo podcast. For more great interviews like this one, join us at foundedinfoco.com.